How can letter sealing wax illustrate the transforming power of the gospel of grace? Well, in this video, I'm going to show you. Years ago, the common way of sealing a letter was to use sealing wax. You would melt the wax and pour just a little bit on the tip of the envelope there, and then use a seal. Now, the seal was often called in the Greek a character. Because the wax was soft, it shapes the wax. Now, what does this have to do with the transforming power of the gospel of grace? Well, in the New Testament letter to the Ephesians, it was written to those who had received Jesus and what he had done for them on their behalf. We read in chapter 2, "For by grace you have been saved through faith. And this is not your own doing, it is the gift of God, not a result of works, so that no one may boast." We're told here that the salvation that God offers through faith in his son Jesus, something, again, that we all need, is by grace, not through our efforts, works, deeds, or keeping a set of rules. See, it's a humbling truth that our salvation or justification is not something we can achieve. We must receive it by the grace of God. When we try to achieve our own salvation and have a relationship with God through keeping rules, there are two things that can happen. One is we can say something like this: "Look, I'm a Christian. I'm keeping all of God's laws. I'm keeping all of the rules." This would be trying to use the seal on wax that has not been hardened. The seal, if I press hard enough, it can possibly leave a superficial mark, but it doesn't shape the wax. You see, the person who tries to have a relationship with God based on keeping God's law can be outwardly moral, but inwardly they're filled with pride and insecurity. And it's because their heart has not been softened by the grace of God, and therefore they are not being transformed inwardly. A second thing can happen to such a person. For example, I can take this seal, and if I press hard enough on the wax that hasn't been softened, it will actually break the wax. You see, for the person who is trying to relate to God and justify themselves by keeping God's laws and the rules, it can break them because they're never able to live up to such a standard. This is why God has chosen to save by grace through faith in his son Jesus. You see, as the warmth of God's grace repeatedly melts our heart, and we continually behold what Jesus has done for us, the seal or character of Jesus is pressed upon our softened hearts, and we are gradually, but ever so assuredly, transformed into the image of our Savior. I'd love to hear what you think about this. Leave something in the comments section. If you like this video, if you found it helpful, leave me a like, share it with a friend. And if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, I hope you'll do so. I am Van Unfiltered.